Hey, okay, good morning. Thank you very much for clicking on and joining me. Today, I'm going to have a little bit of a chat with you regards to advertising. We're going to talk about what advertising is. We're going to talk about its importance and how you can use it as a reseller, as a side hustle, or it's basically going to refer and be representing any business and company out there. I'm going to look at the different ways you can advertise and generate more money from advertising. So, advertising is one of the most important parts of any business. If you want to grow as an entrepreneur at some point in your career, you're going to have to understand advertising. And through today's video, we're going to look at some of the ways I advertise, promote my business, how I drive traffic to the website using advertising, things along them lines. Before I get started, my name is Walter O'Neill. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the founder of antiquesarena.com. So go across, check it out. I've got almost 3 decades of experience in reselling, antique dealing, side hustle, etc. So should we get started in today's video? If you want to put any comments, hi Sandra. If you want to put any comments, please leave a comment. And if you're watching the video live and you want to get involved, comment and we'll get to the comments. If you're watching back later, as most of my viewers do, then you'll leave a comment and I'll get back to you. So, should we get started? What is advertising? Advertising, in the simplest format I can put it, is to make something known. So, you have got a product or service and you want to make a customer aware of the service you have. That is the simplest form for understanding advertising there is. We have a product. Without advertising, the customer may never ever figure out you have that product. So, most of the time, advertising comes at a cost. A lot of people do paid ads, etc. Now, that cost is associated with the cost to acquire customer. And the cost to acquire customer is whatever you pay on your adverts against whatever the return you have. So let's say, for argument's sake, you spend £20 on Facebook ads, that generates you £100 worth of sales. That means your cost to acquire the customer or the cost to acquire that revenue is 20%. And understanding that then means you can improve on the cost, or otherwise known as CAC, and drive down the cost, and maybe by doing free advertising or things like that. Now, I'm going to show you throughout today how the different ways I do the free advertising, but I just want to talk a little bit about first of what the advertising is. Now, advertising is great, but you have to utilize targeting. What do I mean by targeting? You have to, first of all, know what product you got or what service you got, and you need to know who your customer is. So let's use an example of 1990s electronics and games and things like that. Who would your target audience be? Your target audience, more likely, is going to be people in the age range of 40 to 60. Why? Well, with targeting, you can go down as deep as you want. Once you start the rabbit hole, you just keep going. But the simple answer is they grew up playing these games consoles or played them with their children. So it brings back nostalgia, memories, and that's the hot ticket at the moment. People are buying back their childhood. Also, your target audience then 40 to 60. Would they be able to afford your product? Yes, they can. And how are you going to get your product to them? So advertising, then targeting again. A lot of them won't be on TikTok. A lot of them won't be on Twitter or X, things like that. So you need to develop your targeting for your ideal audience. So there's loads of different sections within advertising itself. Targeting is extremely important, but advertising in general, as a growth, it creates awareness. Creates awareness of your brand, your product, your service. Without creating awareness, you're not going to grow. Now, this will transfer as well if you're on eBay. You've got to generate awareness. And once you generate awareness, then you have to generate interest. Now, what do I mean by generate interest? Once you've generated awareness, once they know about your product or your service, you've got to then make them want to buy it. So you generate interest. Now, that can be curiosity through engaging posts, engaging articles, visuals, anything, blog posts, YouTube videos, anything you need to generate interest. Then once you've generated interest, you've got to drive action, which is basically you want to get them to sign up to newsletters, you want them to click on the products and buy the products, you want them to buy the services, whatever. You want to drive action, call to actions, and finally word of mouth. So, hello, Antique Central. I'm going to look at some of the ways I advertise and market to drive footfall for my website. Now, if you follow my channel, you know I generate around 30,000 visitors a month to the website. Might not sound a lot, but if you run an antiques website or any website, you know that's a big number. And I do this, and believe it or not, I don't pay any paid ads at all. I'm going to experiment with paid ads. But to do that, I need to do more research on what to put in adverts, things like that. So I'm going to do paid ads. I'm going to do an experiment. I'm going to do a case study and find out whether or not the cost of running the adverts actually works for generating the income for my business. But some of the things I do, first of all, social media marketing. So I post regularly on YouTube. Now, anybody can do these marketing. Anybody can do posting on YouTube. I've only now started utilizing the videos. I'm quite slow behind, I think, but I've started now breaking down my YouTube videos and repurposing them. So I've got, let's say, for example, the one I done yesterday, I've got a YouTube video on how to identify ivory from bone. I spliced that up. I then put the new shortened version on TikTok and on Instagram. And at the end, I said, if you want to watch the full video, go across to my YouTube account. And just since last night, and bear with me a second, I only put the clip out last night and it's already had 633 views. So that is 633 more people knowing about my website, knowing about my YouTube, knowing about my brand that I didn't have before. And that video was already made. I've got 1,000 videos on YouTube, so I'm literally going to repurpose all of those videos into smaller shorts and clips and put them all over different TikToks, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, anyway. Sending them back to the original because I get paid on YouTube, but also sending them back to the website. So you've got to utilize social media because, as I've said already in the targeting, you've got to make sure the people you're targeting are actually using the social media you're advertising on. Now you can make regular tutorials, how-to videos. If you follow my channel again, you'll know I do how to do everything, how to identify gold, how to identify silver. I do valuation guides. My whole videos are in the form of valuation guide and inspirational, teaching people how to find things. You can do identification guides. You can do any video you want. Now, I've been talking to Kieran. We've got quite friendly. He runs, and let me just get a picture of it for you. Where is it? Talisian Antiques. And they're going to come up there. There. So he runs Talisian Antiques, and he's starting out in a website. And I've been talking to him about his journey. He's now starting out. And I've said to him, people will be very interested in following him because people want to see the journey. It's all right for me to say that I'm already here. So I can tell you how to get there or how I got there in the hope that you can utilize the steps I've done. But I've said to Kieran, you've started a website. I've done a little promotion on the website for him recently. And he hasn't got a huge amount of stock, probably 10, 20 items on there at the moment, but he's got a beautiful looking website. And I've said, what you need to do now is drive the traffic. So I said to him, actually yesterday we were talking and I said, start a YouTube channel. And he said, but I got to tidy up my office and tidy up my unit first. I said, no, film doing that. People want to see everything that's involved. You have a unique selling position now, right? If you're starting out, you have that over me, because you can say to people, you can say, right, I'm starting out, you're going to follow my journey from start to finish and see all the shit work I do, all the mistakes I make, everything. So I said to Kieran, film, start a YouTube channel, film cleaning up the unit, film how you figure out how to do the best displays in the unit, film everything, film your stock, film your mistakes. If you buy something wrong, make a video of it, tell people why it was wrong. So you've got to generate YouTube interest, generate following. Now, the way to grow a channel is simple. Now, I haven't got the biggest channel in the world, but what I have got is a organic following, which is it's grown through people who have a shared interest in what I do, antiques, collectibles, reselling. Therefore, everybody there relates to what I'm putting out. And that's exactly what I've said. You grow an organic following, and people will be really interested to see how you're going along. Lost my train of thought there. But yeah, I've said to him basically, start the videos. You can do the videos on anything, and any one of you can do that. So if you want to start a website or not, it's entirely up to you. But start a YouTube channel, start growing a following, start growing a community. But you have a unique selling position, as in you were at the beginning, and you can document and you can film and generate interest, because there's a lot more people out there want to see how you get on, how you build it, than there are people who just want to see somebody who's already got there. Right, so that's your videos, right? So make any type of video you can, even if you think it's not going to appeal to somebody, it will appeal to some. As I've said, even if it's just the tidying up the office, figuring out where to put stuff, right? Film it all. Then you want to share it to as many platforms as you can. So start your main video on YouTube or TikTok or Twitter, and then break it down into small shorts, anything you can, spread across the platforms. As I've already shown you, I done one video yesterday, and it's already generated me another 622 leads to the YouTube channel and the website since last night. So I'm going to be doing that to 1,000 videos. Then you have physical marketing tools. Now, these can all be transferable as well to your eBay. Now, Nick and Andrea, we're friends. They don't really focus on their website. They have a massive YouTube following, and they send people to their eBay channel. So you can do the YouTube and things just to send people to your eBay channel as well. It hasn't got to be just a website. All of this is transferable if you sell on eBay, Etsy, anywhere, your own platform, anywhere you want. Business cards or physical marketing tools. Now, as I showed yesterday, the car boot sale, I have on the table, I have a box full of business cards. I place them probably 2 or 3 boxes out on the tables. Now, whether if you sell at car boot sales, if you sell at antique fairs, anywhere physical where you see people. Now, yesterday we probably had between 5,000 and 10,000 people come through Gethley Gear. I put my business cards on the table, and I probably went through about 50 to 100 business cards where people took a card. So that's free advertising. The business cards are something like £8 or £9 for I think it's 100 or 1,000. It's something really pathetically cheap anyway on Vistaprint. I made mine. So I gave out loads of business cards. I have a massive 2-foot square, 2.5-foot square plastic sign advertising my website, advertising my YouTube channel, everything that is then positioned at the back of the stall. So if we had 5 or 10,000 people come through the market yesterday, that is 5 or 10,000 people who actually looked at my stall. Whether they paid any attention, they saw my sign. And whether it's subconsciously or whether they actually physically read it, they saw my name, they saw my sign, and they made aware of my brand. I also have magnetic signs on the back sides of my cars, both sides of the car. So anytime I'm driving around, I have signs that state my brand, my YouTube channel, and my website all the time. So no matter where I travel, Again, if I'm at a car boot sale, people are seeing the car, they're seeing the signs on the side of the car. If I travel up England, if I travel anywhere, every time I stop at traffic lights, every time somebody drives past me, do you know you drive past people on the motorway and you always got to look at the person you're passing? Or you always got to read the name on the van, the side of the van. It's exactly the same with magnetic signs on cars. I've got signs on my cars. I got my car. I got signs on my wife's car. I got signs on my parents' car. I've also done little stickers that go on back windows of cars that I give away for free. Subscribe to a reseller antiques arena type thing. I've been giving them away free for years, and I've got people all over the world. I've got little. Actually, got one with it because I got to strip it out now. They go on the backs of people's cars, and they weren't cheap. They worked out something like 50, 60 pence a sticker. But they go on the backs of people's cars and then they drive them around and they're advertising for me for free of charge again. That's why I don't charge for them. I give them away. So you got the physical things. You got sign. You got business cards. You got magnets that you can put on the sides of cars, things like that. It's all free forms of promotion. Then, if you're selling on eBay, now, before we go any further, I did do a video the other day that said, basically, I was advising people to get away from eBay and open your own website. But I also said, if you want to do that, you can do it side by side. So you can run eBay and still make a living, but take one product a week out of your stock and put that aside for the website. Or £10 a week aside, and at the end of the year, you'd have enough to build a website. Now, since putting that video out, I've had Wix and GoDaddy and a few others coming up saying we'll do websites for like £40, £50 a month with AI and things like that. So when you're selling on eBay, eBay won't allow you to put your website address in the listing. I believe they'll suspend you for it. But there's nothing saying for every single product you sell, you can't put a thank you letter in the parcel with the product saying thank you very much. I hope you're happy with the product, and saying we have a website. Please feel free to visit. And you can even go further than that and say, do you know what? Since you're now a valued customer, we're going to give you 10% as well, and really build up an incentive for them to come to the website. So you can do the thank you letters or little notes in the items. And let's say, for example, you're turning over, I don't know, 50, 100 items a month on eBay. That's 100 people a month you're sending that leaflet to. And believe me, if you're offering them a 10% discount, that leaflet's going to go on the fridge and they're going to keep it just in case they do want to use it, just to keep that code. So it's a very powerful tool that a lot of people are missing out on. Now, I haven't been sending them out recently myself because I've run out and I got to order more. But I've had many, many people come back because of leaflets I've put in to when I used to do eBay. That's one of the things I started off doing. I was putting the leaflets in and it would generate people over to the website. So, social media listings. Now, I know I've already said to you about doing the videos and things like that, but when you do your listing, have a Facebook page, have a private page, link them together, and anytime you do listings, whether it's on your own website or whether it's on eBay, take one main photograph from each item. So for argument's sake, I'll put 10 or 12 photographs on every single item. And they are really good photographs. I will select the best photograph that shows the entire object, and then that photograph gets put in a file. And let's say I list 50 items in one night. I'll have 50 single photographs in the file. I will then go to my Facebook page and I will post them 50 items and say new listings on the website today. I'll then post that on the page, new listings on the website. You can also have Facebook groups that allow you to post things like that on. So you could, every single day, you could be going, here's new listings on the website. Making sure to put a link to your website or to your eBay store every single time, because every single one of them counts as a backlink. So every time then people are using those, they can go across and it gives you more authority with Google. The more backlinks you get, the more authority you get with Google. So for every time you're posting your products out onto Facebook page, onto a private page, or people share them, that is another backlink every single time, because your email, or your website rather, is attached to those photographs. Plus, I sell a lot of product then by sharing the photographs. I have people that go through my Facebook page that don't even come to the website. They go through my Facebook page, they see the items, they email me, can I have this please? And I'll go, yeah. And I take it off the page and I ship it out to them or hand deliver it to them, because a lot of people that do that are local. Because I sell to people off my private page as well. So when you do your listings, keep the very best listing you got. Well, in fact, keep all your photographs, because I done a video the other day on how to sell your photographs to stock for money. So if you haven't seen that one, go and watch that one. That was a really good video. Another way of making money, if you're listing on eBay, save all your photographs, and then you can go to these companies that sell stock images for production companies or things like that, and you can say, right, I got 1,000 images all on blah blah blah, let's say antique clocks, and they'll go, right, we'll pay you, it might be a penny an image, but it's more money for free that you're going to delete. But you keep the best image from each particular item, post on your page, post on your private page, post on your business page. Now, if you haven't got a business page on Facebook, why not? Because I done a video on branding, and you've got to start creating a brand, whether your brand is your name or whether it's a company name. Mine's Antiques Arena. So you've got to have a brand. So if you haven't got a Facebook page now, you need to get one. If you haven't got a YouTube account, I recommend you start one. If you haven't got Twitter, TikTok, and all the rest of them, now, believe me, I'm pushing 50, and I'm struggling to understand all the different TikToks and all the rest of it. But as I showed you already, I created a short from my YouTube video last night. It took me 30 seconds. I downloaded the YouTube video. I put it into Adobe. I just went, right, I want the introduction, slice. I want that little piece by there that shows how to identify the ivory, slice. Put them two together, put a little bit at the end that said, right, now if you want to see the full video, come across, and then publish. It literally took me 30 seconds. I didn't have to do no work other than just download it and cut it out and chuck it on. So you need to be doing it. So if you haven't got all these different platforms, then you need to. Whether it's eBay selling, whether it's website selling, or whether you're brick and mortar shop selling to generate footfall, you need to do it. Now, I can see some questions and comments coming in. I will get to them in a bit. All right. I want to just get through the things first, and then if there's anybody got comments you want me to talk about at the end, I will. Excuse me. So yeah, get the platforms, either get content made or post your listings. You haven't got to do any more work. You've already photographed your items. You've already described the photographs, so you put them up. Right, email marketing. Again, it's another one where I'm falling down on. This is one where I'm in the middle of improving. Now, email marketing, you can use companies like MailerLite. And what they do, every single time somebody buys off you, you can record their email. And you can ask people to subscribe to it. So, for example, on my website, I'm going to include, please subscribe here for our newsletter. Or you can tell people in your content, subscribe for our newsletter. Now, emails are more valuable than followers, and I didn't realize this. I've been on social media for years, and I didn't realize the value of an email. People with 10 and 20,000 strong email lists are turning over six-figure salaries. It's absolutely crazy, because you can get promotions, you can get sponsors, everything when you got a good email list. So if you haven't got an email list now, like I hadn't, I have started, then you need to do email marketing, email newsletters, save the emails. Let's say tomorrow now, eBay, I know it's not going to go out of business, but let's say hypothetically eBay went out of business, or eBay changed their policies and you no longer wanted to trade on eBay, or were unable to trade on eBay because they threw you off. You still got access to however many thousand customers you've had via their emails. If somebody purchases off you, you have a right to save their email. and contact them. If somebody clicks on it and subscribes, you have the right to contact them. And you can do newsletters. You can say, right, these are the new products I've had on the website or on eBay this week. These are the events that are happening. This is the content I'm putting on my channel. And you send out a newsletter. Once you get enough of a following, let's say for argument's sake, I'm in the antique niche. A lot of you, antiques niche. A lot of you resellers will be doing computer games, electronics, board games, toys. It doesn't matter. Now, how many toy manufacturers are out there? Barbie, Mattel. I have no idea. I don't do toys. I really don't know, right? But there's nothing saying if you specialize in Barbies that a company couldn't sponsor you. Barbie company couldn't sponsor you. And then they give people, your followers, discounts then as well. So you get paid to be sponsored. Or if you're a gardening company, you get paid by a garden centre to sponsor the garden centre or the gardening company. And then they give your customers any product you want to push out, they give them a discount as well. And you can also get kickbacks. So for argument's sake, if you stay with the gardening company, you get a paid promotion to put their name on the top of the newsletter. Then you say, this is the product we're going to sponsor today. And then you get 10% off that product. But as the host of the newsletter, you might get another 2 or 3% off all the sales as well, or 5% off all the sales as well. So the customer's getting 10% off. You might be getting 5% off. And that'll give you another kickback at the end of the month, especially if you're selling hundreds of thousands of pieces of product. So you need email marketing, important. It's one I've been letting myself down on, and it's one I'm working on myself. Kieran, it was Tallassee and Antiques, who I just mentioned now. He's actually in the chat. He actually said to me, and there's something I think he did that I think was absolutely brilliant, which is something, again, I was falling down on. He's got his website, and yet he posted his items for sale in the Facebook groups, whether it's Marketplace or whatever. But he then said, if you want the item, go to my website and use the link. So very similar to posting in Facebook groups, the stuff you've listed. But if you've got a website, rather than just list it on the website and forget about it, you can go, right, I need something to do this week. So I'm going to promote pick 6 or 7 really hot topics, gold for one. If you've got a bit of gold, chuck a gold necklace, a gold ring in the Facebook Marketplace. It's going to have massive people hitting on it. Even if you want to lower the price a fraction to get the interest, and then you say, if you like this, go to the website and they'll click on the link and go across. I thought that was a brilliant idea, and I have actually started doing that myself. But that was Kieran's idea, not mine. I stole that off him. As I've said, I'm already doing the paid experiment ad, or I'm going to be doing the paid experiment ad. You can use AI to create adverts. So I'm going to invest a few £100 because I want to know. Now, as I said earlier, CAC, cost to acquire customer. If I say, for argument's sake, put £100 into adverts, I want to know how much more footfall that generates me on the website, because I'll then get paid on the monetization of the ads on the website. But I also want to know what the total number of people is that come to the website and buy, and I want to know the total revenue. That way, then I can work out the cost of the customer. So as I said, if I spend £100 on the ads and I bring in £1,000, it's 10% cost, and I can think, well, at 10%, I give a 10% discount with my eyes closed. Let's throw as much money as I can at advertising, knowing it's going to give me 90% return afterwards. So, the more money you spend, the more money you make. Happy days. So paid ads is an experiment I'm going to run, and I'm going to actually do a case study on it. I'm going to do a full video on running the paid ads and see if it actually works for us as resellers, antiques and things like that. Networking. Creating a network of other dealers. I've talked about this importance many, many times, which is building up relationships with other dealers and trust and your brand again, your name. For example, I walk around the car boot sale. People know me, they know my face, they know my name, they know my brand. They buy for me. They'll call me over and say, come and have a look in the back of the car, I got this for you. But alternatively, people will do the opposite. They will say, do you know what? I know you have some really nice gear. I know you're vain. You only sell good gear. I want this. I want this. Can you, if you see it, pick it up for me? It's all swings and roundabouts. You can buy cheap, you can sell, it's networking. It's just another way of getting exposure, getting your brand out there. And when you do brand and networking, you'll then get word of mouth, which is people will start saying, well, if they have a good experience, they will talk about it and they will tell people. So they'll say, I bought this from so-and-so at such a good price. And then they'll come on and they'll have a look. Alternatively, word of mouth works the other way as well. If you're crap and someone's annoyed with you, they will tell people that as well. So you've got to make sure you provide and deliver a good service. Now, leaflets and flyers. I've already touched on leaflets in one sense, is then you put leaflets in the products that you sell. So if you sell something on eBay, you can put a product in it to send them to your website or encourage them back to your eBay by giving them a 10% future discount off eBay. But there's so many different ways you can do leaflets and flyers. You can do a leaflet and flyer and you can go door to door and have them delivered. Have you ever had a leaflet come through your door? Oh, we buy antiques, we buy gold, we buy silver, and people are posting through the door. I guarantee you, and I know people who've done it personally, they would post 200-300 leaflets in a couple of streets in the morning, and by the end of the day, they would have 5 or 6 people who would sell them gold or sell them some antiques from the house. There is never a question of people wanting to sell stuff. The only question is, can you do a deal? And that's down to you then and your people skills and being fair, open, honest, transparent. Right, so you can do door-to-door post with the leaflets. You don't even have to do them yourself. You can have I'd say a few kids delivering them for you if you know a few kids or something, but I think that's illegal now. I used to deliver newspapers and leaflets when I was younger, but I don't think it's allowed now. I think you've got to be 18. But either way, you get the point. Maybe you've got some kids in the family or something like that. You could have pay cheap and have deliver your leaflets, or if not, pay for a leaflet delivering company or deliver them yourself. But either way, you will get returns, but don't just do 100 leaflets, get one item, one contact out of anything, oh, that's shit. Do at least 1,000. Do a test. Do a proper test. All right. Say, right, I'm going to do 1,000 leaflets, or I'm going to do 2,000 leaflets throughout the week or 2 weeks. I'm not going to just do 50 or 100. All right, and see how it all comes in overall on a test run. So you do a test run of 1,000 or 2,000. Don't just do 50 or 100 leaflets. Volume. All right. The more volume, the better it is. All right. Volume takes away any need of luck. The more you do, the more reward you'll get. So another place you can put leaflets. You can put leaflets on notice boards in shops. You can pay £1 a week in some news agents and things like that to put a leaflet on their notice board or a card on their notice board. Now, I've done this in the past, especially when I was buying gold. I used to put a card in the post office and I'd have 10, 20, 30 people contact me a week to buy gold from post offices. And I'd go to the house and I'd buy it. So you can do that. You can put a leaflet in the shop window. Try and find busy town centres, things like that if you can. It's worth the £1 or £2 investment. But what I always did, I paid for like 10 weeks up front or paid for a quarter up front. So I paid for a quarter. But I'd always put a little code on my leaflet. And I'd say, when you contact me, please give me this code. And the reason I'd done that is about tracking. I track everything to know what's working and what's not working. So let's say, for argument's sake, I put 10 leaflets out, one in each village. And 9 of the villages produce me customers, but the one doesn't. Next month, I'll take that one away and I'll go to a different village and I'll put it in a different village. And then I'll clock them again. If you don't track your metrics, you have no idea what's working, what's not working. But you can put the adverts in windows, you can put them anywhere you like. Or for more specific services, at the moment, I've been talking mainly products, but let's say you want to do services. Now, with me, I do house clearance services. So I've got leaflets. I've got 10,000 leaflets over there. I haven't had them delivered or nothing yet, but I'm also going to hand deliver leaflets to estate agents, solicitors, and funeral parlours. I'm going to say, here's a handful of leaflets if you want them. And they can give them out to their customers. Or if an estate agent has a home that they've been instructed to empty and sell, they can give me a ring and I'll go and clear the service. So for more specific services, you can do more direct approach or a more targeted approach, which goes back to targeting again. So I think I've covered the ones I wanted to there. I'll have a look if there's any questions or anything like that, and then I'll carry on. So what we got? There's our Sandra. Hello, love. Antique Central. Hello. Looking forward to this. Cool. Thank you very much. 30,000 visits per month is phenomenal. Having my own website, I understand that the sheer amount of hard work has gone into achieving that number. Now, I want people to understand how much is actually involved in reselling. If you think reselling is easy, you're mistaken. But is it worth it? 100% yes. I think every reseller will tell you, plain and simple, they work longer hours. The pay is inconsistent until you get to a level where it is consistent. And you're always working, outsourcing, or you're always thinking, and it's can be stressful. But at the same time, it gives you such a freedom and such an exciting life and a thrill. I go to work excited rather than going to work thinking, oh my God. It really does make a difference. This Kieran, good morning. Thank you. And inspiring, thank you very much. Question: what platform do you recommend beginning your branding in order of priority? For example, eBay, Facebook. Right. If you haven't started yet, I would use YouTube, because YouTube's one of the easiest to follow, one of the easiest to get monetized on. And then basically you're being paid to advertise. Whereas most places you got to pay them to advertise you. YouTube pay you to advertise. So every time you do a whole video, you're actually advertising. Although I try to make sure there's value in the videos for the watcher to make sure they come back, you're actually showcasing your products. You're showcasing the sale price of your products. You're showcasing the type of product you buy. You're showing buy what you buy, what you pay for it, what you're selling it for, everything. You're building a brand. People are beginning to understand the type of thing you like. So I would go originally on YouTube. Once you get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, you can monetize. You're not going to earn a lot of money on YouTube until you become a big channel. But what YouTube does do is generate massive footfall. I've had close on 2.5 million views. I don't know exactly how much it is, about 2,300,000 or something like that. Close on 2.5 million views on my channel. And I'd say 70% of them then goes to the website. So YouTube is more powerful than people realize. It's not about the money you're turning over on the adverts and things on the videos and things like that. Because believe me, right, nobody actually talks about it. But YouTube, you get paid something like £6 per 1,000 clicks, right, which is very, very low. Right, unless you're turning over hundreds of thousands or millions of clicks, right, it turns into a couple of £100, a few £100 a month. It's not fortunes. And that's once you start getting up 10, 20, 30,000 followers. But what it will do is you'll build a community. And I can tell you now, I've had some absolutely amazing people on my community who go to the website and they buy the products to support the channel. I've had plenty of people actually click on there's a little donate now button on pay. You can have ads from PayPal, and people will go, do you know what, that video really helped me. I've had people where I've taught them how to identify drinking glasses and things like that, and they've gone out and they've made hundreds of pounds on drinking glasses, gone, there's £10 or £20 to say thank you for teaching me the drinking glasses. Your community on YouTube is absolutely fabulous. So I would start on YouTube. As I've already said, I talked about Kieran earlier and about him, how we were talking yesterday about starting up a YouTube channel. If you start up now, people will follow you because they want to see what's involved. By following you with no experience, get in the exact same position they are. So your unique selling position is this, that you're a beginner. You focus on telling people, I have no clue what I'm doing, but you're going to follow my journey and it's going to be interesting. Come see the mistakes I make, come see the mess ups I make, come see the successes I have, see if I make any money, see if I make any losses. Believe me, people will be more interested in that than anything else, because they'll want to see the journey. They'll want to see how hard it is. They'll want to see how many mistakes they make. And if they're following you, then they can do it themselves. So I would start on YouTube, go from YouTube, then making them splice your video up so you could repurpose the same video. So once you've made that video, you can repurpose it, and let me have a look by here now if I've had any more views, right? You can repurpose that video into shorts or into smaller portions, and you can send them over to your main video, right? So what was it, 622? It's now on 642, is it? Let me zoom in for you. Zoom in to show you. So it's already had another 30 views just while we've been chatting now, right? And that's generated them again. So repurpose, go onto YouTube. Once you get that 1,000, you can monetize. You earn a few pounds there. You can repurpose all the videos, get them onto Facebook, get them onto TikTok. TikTok apparently is the one that's up and coming. Loads of resellers are on TikTok, so make sure you use TikTok. It's one I've started learning myself now recently, and repurpose the videos there. But make sure you've got somewhere to send them. Are you sending them to a website, or you send them to eBay? Right, and start, as I've said, I'm going to start my newsletters. So make sure you start a newsletter and start saving emails through proper companies, because I think data protection, I don't know if you're allowed to actually save them yourself, but there's plenty of companies out there that do free for the first 1,000 emails type thing. If I had a list, I might be able to tackle one per week or something. Right. I'm going to make this as simple for you as I can. I record on my phone or I record on my laptop, right? And just screen share on the laptop. Do you list on eBay? If you're listing on eBay or your own website, screen share. Do the listing. Video how you do the listing. Do a video talking about the product you're putting on the listing. Right? There's 2 videos already there that you haven't even got to think of. They're there straight away. And you can do that for every product, or you can do 6 or 7 products in one video. Videos are not hard because you're filming what you're actually doing. So you're doing the work either way. So all you're doing besides is filming it as well. I don't know if that makes sense. You can always send me an email, right? And I can try and help you out a bit more personally when I understand tidy your circumstances. Now, Kieran yesterday told me that eBay are putting more emphasis on advertising, asking him if he wants to advertise by paying for eBay advertising. So eBay is certainly putting more emphasis on advertising. Sellers just need to be very careful about the percentage of the sale they're giving up. So eBay now say to you, from that, how much of the sale are you willing to invest into advertising, and eBay will advertise for you. Now, another form of advertising I use, which I totally forgot about there, is on your own website, you can write blog posts, articles, and it's called, the main thing is for SEOs. Search engine optimization. So let's say, for argument's sake, you want to find a problem on the internet, a big problem. How to identify gold sovereigns, or how to distinguish a gold sovereign from a fake sovereign, right? There's probably 100,000 people a month searching that on Google. So you write an article on your blog, a blog article on your website, using as many keywords as you can to pick up on that problem. You write a solution to that problem on your website. And then every time somebody searches for that problem, Google will rank your article in amongst all the others, check the keywords, and you'll present your answer to the person who's searching who got the problem. And then that is another view on your website, who will then potentially click off the website and view the rest of your website, or what other articles you have, or your shop. But if nothing else, and you monetize the website, you get paid for the people coming to the adverts on the website, same as you do on the YouTube. So that's another way, but you're going to need to be a bit bigger to think about that. But if you're starting a website up, blog posts are very, very important. Personal blog posts on problems. Problem solving seems to be the biggest puller of footfall on websites. If you can solve somebody's problem, then you seem to get a lot more visits. But yeah, eBay, I haven't looked at this yet, but I'll actually look at eBay, and because I have still got an eBay account, I'll have a look how much eBay are charging for advertising and things like that. But you can advertise for free. You don't need to pay eBay's prices. The question, the bottom line is, the more time and effort you put in, the more sales you get out. How much time per day would you estimate to spend on promoting your website? Not enough. I get 30,000 visitors a month now, and a lot of them do turn into good leads and sales. So it's not just the amount I get. The total value, lifetime value of the customer is quite good too. Because you got to consider the lifetime value of a customer. That's why you want to give them good service and good products and good pricing. Um, trying to think, because I might do an hour or two today writing a blog post. I'll do my listings. I'll make a video, but I'm not actually advertising the website as such. As I just explained to Steph there, I'm doing the work anyway. So I can't really put a number or figure on how much time I spend. With my editing, I'm very easy with the editing. I've got Adobe Premiere, Premiere Pro, and Adobe Photoshop. So literally, once I've filmed the film, I just copy it into Adobe and cut out the bits I don't want. So editing only takes like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, because I don't bother with graphics and visuals and all the rest of it. Now you can still have, if you're making a video, you can still have B-roll and other footage. It is so easy to insert B-roll and that into a video. When you've got Premiere, you just got multiple layers, and you have your main layer there, and you'll just go, right, cut it there. I want a bit of B-roll, but there, and you put that in the corner, and they carry on. Editing a video can take half hour. If you want to be professional and do a real good video, yeah, fine. You could take a lot longer. But with my level of skills, which is very little, I tend to very minimal editing. If I can get away without editing at all, I do. But I more often not. If I'm filming a script, I fumble my words. As you know, I'm dyslexic, so for me to read and think and talk is multitasking that I can't do. So many a times when I'm filming, I'll make so many mistakes, and then I'll have to cut it out and then splice it back in where it works, things like that. Or if I'm talking and I just ramble because I can't think, or I've lost the plot, I'll cut it out and splice it in. But yeah, time for actually advertising, I don't know. I'm always thinking about different ways of generating more leads, more customers, more growth, because I'm all about the growth. Now, I done a video, I think it was a week or 2 weeks ago, on what I felt about people should get away from eBay. In the video, I talked about control. I said, I'm not happy. I'm very much a control freak. And I said, I'm not happy about eBay having control, that they can go like that and your business is off. They can flip a switch and you're out of business. And I talked about loads of different things on why I recommend people have a website or start a website up alongside eBay. Now, I had a couple of negative comments on that. One of the comments was that somebody couldn't think it was anything worse than having a website with 5,000 products. And that the only thing he could think of was to why I had 5,000 products is A, people don't want the product, B, the price is too high, or C, people ain't finding them. And I was going to do a video just on it. And I thought, you know what? No, I'm not bothered. And I didn't delete the comment. I don't care if people got whatever people's opinions are. That's what stays on there. I don't edit. It's full transparency. And could I sell more if I was on eBay? Probably, because I always compare my prices in my videos, if you see them, to eBay prices. And everything I price at or under an eBay sold price. So could I sell more if I was on eBay? Yes, but I'd be losing 25 to 30% to eBay, which is what I was always losing. eBay would also still have all the control. I already turn more than sufficient money to cover the cost of the products, all my bills, and make a profit and have a wage. So if I was to turn any more than I'm turning, I'd only put it into more stock and grow more anyway. So I'm all about the growth. And when I write a blog post, I'm writing it to grow, because I think I've got something like 50 or 60 blogs on there now, all articles, tutorials. Once I wrote that tutorial, that's on my website for life. So if it only attracts 100 people a year, right, that over the lifetime will be thousands of people. And if I get thousands of blog posts, it's going to attract tens and hundreds of thousands of people to the website. Same with the products. If you list a product on eBay, right, eBay image advertise with Google, right, which is advertising again, but they put your images onto Google, and then when someone wants to buy something, they'll go onto Google and they'll go, I want to buy an 18th century drinking glass A-twist, nice Georgian one. Anyway, Google then presents them with all the images, and then all people will do is go, I like the look of that one, I'll click on that, and it'll take them to eBay, or it'll take them to your website, right? Once your product comes off eBay, eBay still retain that image, but when someone searches the image on Google, then it just takes them to eBay as a generic. It doesn't take them to your listing anymore. I don't know if anybody's found this. When you search a product and it says, well, it was on eBay, you click on it and it goes, it's no longer there, but it shows you all other options. It's very similar with my website. I use image advertising, right? That's why I make sure every image is absolutely perfect. I put about 10 or 12 images on. The more images you put on, the more images you're going to capture in Google. So if somebody wanted to search that same drinking glass on Google and I got one on my website and they click on that image, even if it's sold, it'll still take them to that item on my website. It'll just say out of stock, and then they can go to my shop and view if I got other similar items. So image advertising is something eBay do as well, but you don't profit from it, because after 30 days or 90 days, sorry, I think it's 90 days, eBay remove it from your solds and things like that. So then eBay gain from the image. But what I would do then is, as I've said, is save the images up and sell them to stock photos. But going back to your question, long way around, I'm sorry, but I don't know how much I spend. I spend a lot of hours working. If I'm not out buying, I'm either writing blog posts, photographing, doing restorations, reading, learning. I probably work 10, 12, 14 hours a day. So break it down into about 25%. I do a couple of hours a day on advertising then, if you like, as a rough guess. What makes you stand out, and how have you made reselling into a brand and grow your own platform, your own business and your own customers, whereas most people own their business, but not Custo? Okay, that goes back to branding, doesn't it? How have I made my business stand out, and how have I made me selling into a brand? I've done that using YouTube. I've utilized YouTube, so I've made my antique stand out. I've made my brand, my name stand out purely through volume. I've got 1,000 videos on YouTube, 2.5 million views. So that's 2.5 million people have either seen or heard the name Antiques Arena. They've seen what I buy and what I associate with my name. I've probably made mistakes over the years. I know I have. But as a rule, I don't buy dodgy items. I don't buy fake items. I don't buy stolen items. I try and be transparent on what I buy and what I sell. Hence, I do sold videos as well, showing what I've sold stuff for. Um, as I explained the other day, if somebody buys something off me, like the decanter that Royal Mail wouldn't ship to Australia, I paid the extra and shipped it out there anyway. It's building trust. So I've done a video on branding. So if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. All right. They're probably not the best videos in the world, but believe me, they're very relative to antiques, reselling, side hustles, and what we do. But building the brand, it's just making yourself known. All brand is, right, is association. Right. To build a brand, you need to associate your product, your services, your name with a feeling of good and a knowing awareness, which is the advertising, making known. Right. So if you can make your brand known, and then the brand is known and associated positively, then that's a good association. And that's all you need to do is make yourself known, which you'll do from the advertising and some of the tips in the advertising video today, and build a brand, which you can do if you watch the branding video. The branding is simply by association of your name, making your name associated with positive thoughts, things like that. Now, you can buy branding. You can go to a celebrity and you can go, do you want to sponsor my brand? And then basically everybody who follows that celebrity will go, okay, they'll associate your brand with that celebrity. And then you keep doing more and more content and with less of the celebrity, and eventually they'll just associate your brand with positivity. But then that costs a lot of money. But you can do your own YouTube videos and build your own brand up. It's relatively simple. It really isn't that hard. But what I would say is it's a lot of work and time and commitment and effort, and always delivering on what you promise, or delivering the best on what you can on what you promise, is what I would say. Is there anything else in that? The more you put in, the more you get out, 100%. But in all honesty, right, let me ask you this. If you're going to work for an employer on minimum wage, right, you're going to work, let's say 10 hours for £12 an hour, £120. Then you got your stamp, your tax, and all the rest of it on there. Right, you might, out of that 10 hours, you might bring home 70 quid, 60, £70 for 10 hours work. For 10 hours work in this game, there's no limit on what you can make. In that 10 hours, you can write a blog post that could get 1 million views. In that 10 hours, you can learn a skill. You can learn how to identify silver. You can learn how to identify gold. You can learn how to identify drinking glasses. That skill will earn you for the rest of your life. That's what you got to do. It's not just about, what was it? Yeah. It's not just about the time, the money straight up. It's the overall lifetime value. All right. What's this up here? Take out a minute. Why wouldn't I go on the screen? I don't know how to post that. Would like Cool stuff. Thank you very much for the donation. Would like to hear your take on the benefits of being niched in your inventory versus buying anything that made a profit. Right. I don't know why that's not coming on the screen. So, if you want to be a general reseller, right, I'll use Nick and Andrea as perfect examples because they are opportunists. They will go out and they will buy absolutely anything. And they will buy literally car parts, antiques, media, you name it. They buy absolutely anything they want. And Nick does very well from it. But what that also means is when you go out to car boot sales, if you're an opportunist and you just buy anything, then you're not limited. If you see someone on the floor that's got a profit, then you can buy it. Versus antiques. If I go to a car boot sale, now it depends what type of dealer I am. If I'm a specialist dealer or if I'm a general dealer. If I'm a general dealer, I go to the car boot sale and there is still so much I can look for. All right, I can look for jewelry's fortunes, and I find it all the time. You can look for antiques, you can look for glass, books. The categories in antiques are just as vast as they are in just buying anything and selling it. Because you can go to mid-century vintage, you can go to Art Deco, Art Nouveau, you can concentrate on periods. If you want to go specialist, the only time you're going to struggle is if you become a specialist dealer. If you become a specialist dealer and only focus on, let's say, for example, you only buy silver, and you go to a car boot sale and there's no silver there, then that day is a failure. It's a total loss. However, if you're a specialist and you only buy silver, as an example, and you go to a dealer who's got cabinet full of silver in his on his stall, you can then, as a specialist, you can go, well, I actually know that one and that one are by designers. I know who they are. I know they're worth 10 times what he's asking because he's a general dealer, hasn't got knowledge, and he's just priced them up as a silver ring or a silver brooch. Let's say, for argument's sake, a Jog Jensen brooch, right? A general dealer might list it for 20 quid. It just see it as a silver brooch. whereas a George Jensen brooch is worth 10 times that amount of money. So specialist dealers are going to struggle, as in they might not find the products at car boot sales they want or charity shops they want, but when they see them, they can make a lot more money on them. General dealers buying antiques, I don't think there's much difference between being an opportunist like Nick and Andrea, where you can just buy anything you want and make a profit. However, it makes a difference on the other side. I have got a generic or an organic following of 16,500 followers. Every one of those is going to have an interest in antiques because my channel is about antiques. Now, let's say, for argument's sake, I'm an opportunist and I got a following of 16,500 people. And today I buy a brooch. 10% of them might like the brooches, which means the other 16,500, 1,600, so the other 15,000, give or take, are not interested in the brooch. Nick and Andrea got something like 60,000, 65,000 followers. They got a massive channel. But when they buy media, that media doesn't appeal to anybody interested in the antiques. If they buy car parts, that's not interested in anybody who buys bric-a-brac and toys. So you're then putting out content that isn't fully relevant to all your following. And by having a generic following, let's say, for argument's sake, you had a gardening channel and you only focus on gardening, and you have 100,000 followers all interested in gardening, and then you go to a sponsor and you go, well, I've got 100,000 followers here and they are all interested in gardening. Then you might say, so that's 100,000 people I can tell about your product, whether it's a garden center or an online company. And you can go, so do you want to sponsor me? Whereas if you're just a general, there's pros and cons all the way around, but opportunists, you can make money from anything. But I think antiques is more than enough out there that you can make money from almost anything anyway. You just need to build a knowledge. Whereas an opportunist, you don't need any knowledge. You can just buy what you see. So you may, for argument's sake, walk into the car boot sale and you might see a toaster brand new in a box sealed, and you think, do you know what's a pound? They're 50 quid new. I can sell it for 30. There's nothing wrong with doing that at all. It was just my choice to build a brand in antiques. It has to be personal preference. Now, there's a shop just opened in the Mount. I think it's called Dodgy or Aussie or something like that. And he specializes in buying anything and everything, cheap toys, things like that, and selling them on. So it's totally down to preference. What do you want? Do you have any antiques knowledge? If not, then being just an opportunist, buy in. It's nothing wrong with it, either way, whichever way you go. Hopefully that answered the question anyway. Right, so, and what makes you stand out is your USP. As I've already tried explaining, your USP is your unique selling position, okay? If you do YouTube videos, your USP is going to be the fact that you're only now starting out. Your USP is, come follow my journey. Come see the mistakes I make. Come see the mess ups I make. Come see if I make any successes of it. That's your USP. My USP is 30 years of experience, already got a massive website, already got a YouTube following. You focus on your unique position, your unique selling position, right? Let's say, for argument's sake, I'm a big company, right? Let's say I represent sports people. I'm a massive company, right? That you can then, as a brand new person, you can go up to that sports person. You can go, well, a bit like Jerry Maguire. You can go, well, yes, they can represent you, but they're so big. They got so many people. Can they really give you the time you deserve? And then their USP would be, yeah, but we've been in the business 30 years. We've been through multiple recessions. We've taken multiple people to $1 billion. Can he do that for you? So you focus on your USP has to be fit into whatever you are. Your USP could be you only buy animal friendly products, or you only buy things that are environmental friendly. Your USP is wherever you want it to be, and your message it's all about what builds into your brand. Your message, USP, everything, it's all part of your branding. Customers, what was that? whereas people own their own business but no customers. You can own your customers by owning the emails. If you own the emails, you own the customers, right? It's that simple. If you're on eBay and eBay switch you off tomorrow, how are we going to contact a single person? If you've got your website and you've got your custom email list, then you've got your customers you can still fall back on. They pay eBay to access the customers. Yeah, but you build your own customers. That's what I'm trying to explain, right? eBay have spent a fortune on advertising, right? But they also utilize Google search, and Google search is free, right? Which is what I utilize, Google search image. So anytime somebody's searching for product, they won't go type in the product and go through every website they see. They just search a product, go to Google Images, they'll have a page of images, they'll click on the one they want. Now, whether that's on eBay or whether it's on your website will depend on the image, how good the image is, how well does it look, how beautiful does the item look, can you entice them? Which then goes back to what I was saying about the advertising is once you've made known, which is the Google image, is the advertisement, you got to generate interest. How good an image can you put out there? If you make your image stand out the best, make your item look the best, they're going to click on yours above eBay's. It doesn't make any difference. They're not looking at where the image is. They look at the image they like and they click on it and they'll take them where it is. eBay has a massive following this worldwide. But have you noticed, right, how everybody I talk to on eBay says nothing's changed? You have to constantly relist to get sales. Your view count, right, go to any of your items now, right, that's a 10-day listing and have a look at your view count. Right, and I bet the view count is in single or double digits. And for a worldwide market, that's pretty shit. Plain and simple, right? It really is. So you generate your own customers. Once you start up a YouTube channel or anything like that, or start advertising by any of the free means, you start building a following, and that's where your customers come from. I mentioned selling at Malvern again soon. Advertising on a stall at an antique fair will probably be a great shout. Well, as you saw, I was talking to Kieran yesterday at the car boot shop, and I was showing him my board that I put out at the stall. I showed him the business cards I put out. I think people were actually taking the business cards while he was still stood at the stall. So all these things, they actually do work. These are things that I use daily that do actually work. But yeah, I'll be going to Malvern. I've got a load of bigger pieces that I want to out, Urkel rocking chairs and Canterbury's, things like that. I just want to get rid of because I don't really want to ship them in Royal Mail. So they'll be going up to an antique fair. But at the antique fair, I'll be utilizing all the methods I've mentioned here today. I only do YouTube currently, but I'm trying to grow using other platforms. I just passed 3,000 subs. Congratulations. I have got TikTok, right, that I've only just started. And I have got 30 followers, right? That's all I got on TikTok is 30 followers. So 20 plus 10 today, right? That's all I got on TikTok. It's a brand new account, right? And yet I've shown you that video I done last night, creating the short from the YouTube video, yes? And it had 622 views at the start of this video. Then I done it again, I think it was on 635 or something like that. It is now on 647. And it hasn't been out 24 hours yet, right? Honestly, it's going up all the time, constantly. Even as we've been doing this video, it's had like 30 views, 40 views. So if you're only on YouTube at the moment, and you've got 3,000 subs, so you're now monetized. Do you know the amount of subscribers you got is irrelevant? It doesn't really matter. All right. The only metric that matters on YouTube is your views. And the reason I say that is, A, the more views you get, the more you get paid. Right. As you know, Steph, if you're on YouTube and you got 3,000 subs, you're probably earning £50 a month, £100 a month. Right. It's very nominal. But then views then transform into footfall into the website. So I'll have a look at Steph's channel later, and I might put that into another video. But there's the comment. Thank you. For some reason, it wouldn't come up when it came up on the screen. It wouldn't come up on the page. So yeah, I will have a look at Steph's channel, but I would recommend you start sharing your video, even if you don't edit it or make it into a short, right? You can share the video to Facebook. Have you got a Facebook page? If not, why not? Have you got Instagram? If not, why not? Create a following on all of these platforms. Even if you're sending them to eBay, it doesn't make any difference, right? Send them somewhere. Did I find it hard? I don't know how many of you know how I got into the antiques. I started off exactly like that. I needed money. Right. I was at the house and I was struggling to pay my bills. And the family would give me stuff to take to a car boot sale. And I'd go to a car boot sale. We're talking like 25 years ago. And I'd go to a car boot sale and I'd set a stall up and I'd be selling my stuff. And I'd done that for a few weeks. And then I thought, do you know what? I'm making a few pound a year. I'll start walking around and I'll buy stuff cheap. And I used to pick up little electronics, drills, things like that for £1 and £2, and I'd sell them on for a fiver at the same car boot sale stall. And I used to make a fair bit of money a day. And then I remember I can't remember if I bought it or if it was given to me by a family member, but it was a Staffordshire, 19th century Staffordshire cheese dish. And I sold it on my stall for like £1 or £2. Anyway, at the end of the day, as always, I walk around, see what I could find for next to nothing. And I come up onto a stall, and lo and behold, there was my cheese dish. And it was priced up at something like 50 quid. And I didn't get angry. I thought to myself, crafty bugger, I really want a piece of that. Now, I thought, first of all, the profit margin is far better. Right? Yes, you can make 30 quid on that toaster, right? But he turned £1 into £50. And I thought, that was easy. He's bought something for £1 with a little bit of knowledge and turned it into 50. Where's the stop? People buy stuff at car boot sales. I do it myself for £1, £2, and sell it for thousands. There have been documented instances, I've actually shared in some videos, where people have bought stuff at car boot sales and sold them for hundreds of thousands of pounds. If you want to go into Chinese porcelain, people have bought a £10 million bowl at antique fairs and flea markets, right? It's the profit margin. I went into the antiques away from the other stuff because of the profit margin, but it's not just that. Yes, there may have been £30 on the toaster, all right? But if I was to sell it online, how many more toasters are online? How many people am I competing with to sell that toaster online? Whereas if I got an 18th century drinking glass with an A-twist stem and all the rest of it, how many are online now? 10, 20 worldwide. How many toasters online? Million. So I'm then thinking to myself, okay, so A, I can charge more profit. B, there's less competition. So supply and demand says if they want it, they'd have to come to the supply, which is us, and there's not many of us. So then I've only got to compete by making my stuff more known, which is the advertising and the YouTube videos. So I got to make myself more known than the other people, or make my price cheaper than the other people, but I'm still making a good profit. So was it easy to walk past the toaster? Easiest thing I'd done in the world, because I used to buy stuff, as I say, at the car boot sale, and I'd be flipping it for £2 and £3. I never done I started eBay about a year after it started, after its creation, right? But I was still selling when eBay started at car boot sales. So I was buying stuff in and selling it on. But I moved away from drills and tools and toasters and things and general household to antiques. And I had a proper antique store at a car boot sale. And I turned £500 or £1,000 at a car boot sale in one day. Back 20, 25 years ago, people used to buy all the antiques at car boot sales. I'd buy a drinking glass for 10 pence, 20 pence in a box of drinking glasses on the floor, and I'd be selling them for 50 quid and £100 at the same car boot sale. So I made a conscious choice to walk past the toasters and walk past the other things. At the moment, a lot of antiques, ceramics, things like that are struggling. And one of my friends that I'm friendly with, obviously, I've been buying a lot of perfumes at car boot sales. And I mean, they're buying them for £1 boxed and sealed, and selling them for 40s and 50s. And I've been thinking to myself, well, am I stupid turning the money away? And I walked past 2 boxed perfumes in Gay this week, and you know what? I looked at them, I picked them up, I didn't even ask the price, I just went, you know what, I just don't want to do it, because it did nothing for me. It's not about the money. It's about the lifestyle, it's about the fun, it's the treasure hunt. Picking up a bottle of perfume to make £10 on or £20 on just didn't have the same excitement to me as finding an 18th century drinking glass or a bit of gold or something like that. So no, I walked past it. So giving up the toaster to do what I do, no problem whatsoever. I absolutely love the antiques. I really do. You have to make a decision what you want to do. And what I can say is this, honestly, right? Whatever decision you make, stick to it. Because everything, no matter what you do, gets hard. If you want to do general everyday buy-in, or whether you want to do antiques, or whatever you want to do, right? You'll do it. And then you'll hit a wall and you'll think, oh, but he's made this much money over there. I'm going to jump over there and I'm going to do that. And then you'll do that and you'll find out he's hit walls as well and you've actually got past them. Because perfumes, like everything else, got loads of fakes. You got loads of competition. There's everything. Right? Whatever you're doing, whatever you decide, stick with it and you will get better at what you're doing. Don't keep jumping from thing to thing or product to product. Pick a line you're going to do and stick to it. If it's going to be antiques, do antiques. If it's going to be toys, do toys. If you want to diversify, that's different. Once you know your product inside out and you want to learn a new line, that's a total different thing than jumping ship. Right? Don't jump ship just because other things look easy and look like they're good money. But yeah, that's the way I see it anyway. It's okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. I'm focused on buying and selling smaller items, saves on shipping, supplies, and time spent in packing, so that makes it easy. Well, yeah. It also, if you buy small, it also saves on storage. I have multiple storage containers that I pay monthly for in my costs. I have tons of stuff. If you see my garages, my outbuildings, my house, it's all full. We all have death piles, don't we? uh, I have a niche website, but my eBay is still very general, but it really causes distractions for me. Right, how can I address that? Right, what do you sell on the website, first of all right? If you can answer me, what do you sell on the website, for one, right? And what do you sell on eBay, right? Is the first question I'd ask. Then I would say, which one are you making more money at, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to make more money. We all want to make more money. So whatever you're doing in your day that is generating you the most income, you want to do more of that. If you're doing things and you say you haven't got time and you're doing things that are not generating you the income, then you need to prioritize on the things that are making you the income. And if you believe in the long term that your website's going to bring you the money in, which I believe it will, because it's not just the product now or the price now, it's building a future, building a business, building a brand growth. In 10, 20 years' time, how big could it be? In 10, 20 years' time on eBay, how big it can be? It can be exactly the same. All right. So it's growth, it's future growth, it's potential, where'd you go? But whatever you focus on, whatever's going to make you the most money. Now, I understand people have to work eBay in order to keep a website going, because websites are notoriously hard to get going until you build a following up, which is why I've done the advertising video, because people were asking me about the advertising. You can still work eBay while doing the website, but it's how much time do you want to put into the website. So let's say, for argument's sake, now the average person works 8 to 10 hours a day, right? Dedicate a set amount of time to your website for growth. And then if eBay is the one bringing you in the money, put maybe 30% of your time on the website for future as investment and 70% of your time on eBay to keep paying your bills and keep allowing you to work on the website. But eventually, If eBay is a distraction for you and you want to do the website, then eventually I'd work to building the website up to a level where it can sustain you and you don't need eBay. But what you'll also find when you come off eBay, you'll save that 25 to 30% as well. What have we got? Right, yeah. And I lost my. Hi, Bill. I have a private site on eBay. I saw your video on the HMRC. You've been given the details for tax, etc. I don't mind this, but how are they going to tax the sellers of car boot sales? Well, they're not going to tax sellers of car boot sales. Firstly, they're going to get rid of the car boot sales in the next year or two anyway. They're already working to that. But while the car boot sales are ongoing, first of all, let's say 90% or 80% of sellers at car boot sales are thought to be general public. You only get 10 or 20% that are regular booters. And technically or legally, they're all supposed to be registered to pay taxes. If you're a reseller, even though the items at the car boot sale are second hand, if you're buying to sell on, you still got to pay taxes. So technically, they should all be registered for taxes. Saying that, I ain't the police. I ain't interested who is and who isn't registered. All I would say is that's a government issue. They've sent in, I know just around in Wales over the last number of years, I remember once they sent in the DWP who come in and took the name and address and number plate of every single person selling at the car boot sale. They came in to Splot, they did, and they actually took every single person's detail, and anybody then who was on benefits got into trouble. No, there's nothing saying they can't send in undercover people to car boot sales and things and see who's a regular there week after week after week. I don't really care about taxes at the car boot sale. That's down to the tax man. In all honesty, I think they're going to get rid of the car boot sales anyway. They're already working towards it. And if we go a cashless society with NAFTA anyway, there won't be a car boot sale, will there? We'll all have to sell on things like Facebook and things like that. One of my conspiracy theories, and I am a bit of a conspiracy nut, is have you noticed almost next to almost every council tip now they're opening reuse shops? Now I don't know if they're charity shops or if they're just reuse shops owned by or in partnership with the council. But once this network of reuse shops is in position, if they close the boot sales, when the stuff goes to the dump instead of the car boot sale, people will go, no, take it into the reuse shop. So we'll still be able to do reselling, but I think what they'll do is they'll be sending it, instead of going to the car boot sale to sell it, they'll be sending the general public into the reuse shop, and then we'll have to go into the reuse shop and buy it all through cards, cashless society. So then they track everything we've bought and they track everything we spend and everything we sell and all the rest of it. But that's what I think they do. And they're setting up the network now, getting ready to get rid of the car boot sales. They've already started closing car boot sales down over power tool bans and things like this. What's next? Counterfeit goods, stolen bikes, you name it. Who knows? But I don't think car boot sales will be an issue in the next couple of years. I think they'll probably be gone. Which is why I'm focusing on house clearances and things this coming year. Because I think short term car boot sales are fabulous. Long term, I don't think they're going to be there. I think we're all going to have to use reuse shops or charity shops or buy online and sell it back online, in which case there's a paper trail. So the tax man's going to be jumping up and down excited. Or at least that's my tuppence worth on it. But I'm a conspiracy nut anyway, and I don't trust the government as far as I can throw them, but that's just me and my opinions. But I've never been shy in sharing my opinions. So do we have any more questions? Because I have a little look. I don't think I got anything left on here I want to talk about and cover. Just having a quick look now. Not on there. I'll have a look if any more questions will come in. If not, I think we may be coming to the end. I did have a conclusion somewhere, but I think I've lost the page. I think I talked about everything I wanted to anyway. So if nobody's got any questions, I'll probably call it there. I think I've answered everything. I can't tell you enough how important it is right? Even if you're selling on eBay, start building a community and start building a following. Facebook page, Facebook group, wherever you want, right? You're going to take a lot of heat and you're not going to make a lot of money, but you build in the future. And you're building a following and football. There's a reason I got 30,000 people a month visiting the website, and it's not because I'm special, because believe me, I'm not. All right, I'm really not. I make mistakes, I make mess ups, and I do exactly the same as you. I got car boot sales buying stuff that I sell on for more money. So if I can get on there, so can you. So check out the videos we've talked about in today's video, right? So you got the branding video. It teaches you all about how to make a brand, how to make a name for yourself, how to get a name to stand out and associate it with positivity. You can come back to this advertising video over and over, check out some of the tips. Genuinely, everything in today's video, right, I use. I do it all. The only thing I don't do is the paid ads, but I'm going to do them and see how I get on with them. All right. And as I said about the TikToks and other things like that and repurposing the videos, why not? I'm gonna have a look now if it's gone up again. That's what I want to do. That's the picture. I can't see it. I was going to have a look if it had gone up anymore because it was 6:47 a couple of minutes ago, wasn't it? But it's interesting to see just how many views I get off it. As I've already explained to you, I'm big on tracking everything. 6:48, so I had one more view. If you don't know what I mean about tracking, check out that video. All right, because how are you supposed to make informed improvement decisions if you don't know where you're falling down? The more you track, the more you understand what's working and what's not working. The more you can focus on what's working and remove what's not working. You've got to track everything. Right, as I said in the video, one of the things I tracked was and figured out was every time I put on videos containing animal products, taxidermy, or anything along them lines, I lost subscribers. I lost sales, things like that. Go check out the tracking video, right? It's an interesting video. But other than that, I think I'm going to leave it there. And I hope you found some value in today's video. And if you've got any questions, leave a comment or send me a message and I'll try and get back to you. So for everyone who joined me today, thank you very much. And for everyone watching later, I hope you enjoy. Bye for now, guys.